nigger. I thought I'd start by saying that because it's so friendly.
Just trigger.
I have to admit, it's probably one of the funniest things floating about. Oh, PewDiePie said nigger. So overlooked. Right, rich man. I don't care.
Sorry, what's happened?
It's
I must have missed this.
Oh, PewDiePie said nigger during a game.
Oh, okay.
Ground he was playing. That guy's such a nigger.
Everyone's lost their shit over it, yeah?
Yep.
Oh yeah, of course. Someone on Twitter was like, a games developer was like, I'm gonna DMCA anything with this and his company name in it. Just put a little tweet about pulling up a chair and awaiting the moment there's a copyright lawsuit thrown at him for false claims. I claim that.
The world is just getting worse, isn't it?
It's all quite amusing, really. So how you been?
I find it hilarious.
Hello. Evening, fashionably late as ever.
Oh, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Not so bad. I'm covering someone's work all week, so I was partially concerned I wouldn't have the energy to do this.
But here you are.
At all. Well, I was also worried because I found out that I was fiddling with OBS. I figured it all out. I now know how to stream with Discord, but my upload rate isn't good enough. I need to get an Ethernet cable and run it around the house to my bedroom. The computer.
That sounds like a fun job.
I'll wait till next week and buy it when I get paid.
So you just hope that the animals don't step on anything.
So much.
Or
I gotta wait for that.
They assuming like tearing down walls or just opening up little parts of the walls isn't an option.
We're lucky. Our walls are all concrete, so it's not a problem. We have old houses, but
your cables are shit, so you wouldn't be able to do power over Ethernet or Ethernet over a power line. I got that backwards.
Okay, it's all good. I'll run it around a few door frames, and I'm sort of like,
duct tape it down.
Sorry?
Duct tape it down.
No. I'll use some hooks. You can get some hooks with a nail on, and it'll fit into a groove. I've used it when I was at uni. I just didn't bring the Ethernet cable I used then back with me because that was 10 years ago. But I'll do that, and then I'll be able to use OBS and Discord. But that won't be for about a week and a half. So in 2 weeks' time, hopefully, I'll be able to do this just through the top dollar voice chat on Discord, along with some gaming streams, because I was working on that first, and I figured out how to set up all the images and underlays and overlays. I did a few tests as well, but my CPU usage, even when virtually everything was closed, was apparently too high. I don't understand. But it's okay. It's okay. I can use a computer that should suffice. Doesn't seem to struggle so much.
So what do I get to watch you stream?
Well, that or I just you get to watch me stream. Congratulations. I don't know. I just wanted to try and make streams a bit more interesting. Oh, it's too bright. Fucking hell. Turn that off. So what's everyone been up to?
Not a lot. I'm kind of still stuck in the Doctor Who bubble at the moment.
Which series are you up to?
The second Matt Smith one. I've just watched.
Okay, series 6.
That's the one.
I'll tell you what. When they first introduced the silence in that series, the silence genuinely creeped me out. It was like
they're really creepy.
Yeah, it was like when they first introduced Weeping Angels in that Blink episode. The problem is, by the time Smith leaves, the silence no longer scary. They don't, because they overused them. And Capaldi's era didn't really have a villain to be scared of. Missy turned good and died. It was just pfft. No one cares.
I still think the freakiest sort of kind of bad guy in Doctor Who was the Christopher Eccleston one, with the gas masks and the kid going, "Are you my mummy?"
Oh yeah. That was pretty cool. I did quite like Eccleston's villains because there was such a nice variety.
And we got Captain Jack as well.
Yes, everyone was rather fond of Jack, weren't they?
Oh, I just find him funny.
So are you going to tell them the face of Bo thing? You probably know already.
Oh, from series 3. From series 3, I knew about that.
Yeah, because I missed that episode when it was on, so I was like, oh my god, and it was like, even though he's not watching it, I had to go and tell him.
Wow.
We're just
Spoilers. God.
You have to wonder how he transforms into a massive head.
Well, I know in series, in A series, there is a remark made about the vortex manipulator he wears, because in one of the seasons, in a year of that particular universe, his hand gets cut off. Without it, he can regenerate as long as everything's but near him. So you'd assume that he couldn't regenerate his hand because it was cut off and not given back to him. Because people seem to forget. So how? Yeah, you have to wonder how the head became like that. You'd assume that somehow he evolved as time went by, I guess.
Well, it's a long time, so lots of things can happen.
Yeah, it's only a few billion years, nothing much.
Yeah.
What do you get a guy who's 5 billion years old? I just don't know anymore. A death? A pair of legs? A back scratcher for that itch that's been bugging him for millennia?
Well, he had sort of kind of dready things, didn't he?
Oh yeah, those little antenna things, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a very prominent chin as well.
True.
Much like Captain Jack. Yes, I quite like that.
Not as big as Matt Smith's chin, though.
Oh, it's an annoying chin.
You wait until his final episode, because he shaves his hair off. Those ears. Wow.
Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of him.
Yeah,
he's likable enough.
He's very popular with kids.
But he's not David Tennant.
Nobody will be David Tennant.
No, I know.
And he's very popular. I'm not going to be too critical, because that no one's going to be able to recapture that kind of magic they had with him.
No. No, definitely not. It's a shame, though.
It is. So, did everyone see the Did you see the stuff about Kekistan?
What now?
News outlets trying to have Kek made into a terrorist group or something. White supremacy.
Yeah, I saw Sargon's video on it and him just pissing himself.
Oh, the stream he did. I saw that. Yeah.
No, it was just a one-off. Just him.
That video of that one guy, the one black guy, when he hears PewDiePie say nigger, he deletes him off a list and puts him on another list of people who said nigger. It was beautiful, and he just says, "I'm going to bed now." I wanted to retweet that, but I didn't know who it was. Oh, it's so funny. Oh dear.
Most exciting thing that's happened over here is college has started, and then the whole Betsy DeVos thing.
We've had Hollywood being accused of being a Nazi.
Who?
Don't know who Paul Hollywood is. Get out. Watch the Bake Off.
He's on the Great British Bake Off.
Oh.
So
He
kind
dressed up as a Nazi for a hello hello themed party 5 years ago, and it was something ages ago, and then it surfaced, and
Oh
know,
yeah.
Oh, it's like the whole William Shatner thing with him dressing up as a Nazi for one episode of Star Trek or whatever.
kind
you know
of,
what's
yeah.
funny? If you want to go and look up Japanese Nazi on like Google search, you see all these cosplay Japanese people, like kids, teenagers, like young teenagers, rocking around in full get up. No one get bits on it because it's they can look at the Japanese and you go, well, they were part of the war, but these kids were never part of it, and everyone points the finger at them. But Paul Hollywood.
Oh, because he's a British institution, apparently.
It's not like he's parading up and down the British break-off in a Nazi uniform, doing zig heils.
He was like marching and going, yeah. Oh, hell's the Führer!
Looking, he sees a soggy bottom on a cake or something. Goes, nine.
Gas the cakes.
Don't have the gas. It's not.
Can you imagine, right, if someone actually for that theme party actually made an oven? Or they made a scenery. It was a shower. Oh, that would have been the winner. I love that. Oh no, I can't do any of that. I don't really watch Great British Bake Off, but I did hear about some of the quotes controversy about having a contestant that was a professional, but still being allowed to compete anyway.
I didn't hear about that. I've not really been into it at all this year.
I haven't seen any
I don't
of the
watch
new
it.
one.
I just see news bits here and there. I used to watch Great British Menu. That show so much.
It's addictive watching, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It really was. But I haven't got into Great British Bake Off. Probably because it just sounds like a rip-off of Great British Menu.
I miss the sexual tension between Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry. I haven't seen the new series, but what's his Noel Fielding?
Yeah, it's Noel Fielding and Sandy Toksvig.
I've not got a problem with either of them.
Goofy emo fuck from the Mighty Boosh.
But he was funny in the Mighty Boosh. He's not now.
That's because his humour doesn't really work anymore.
No, it was sort of naughty.
Edgy back
then. Yeah.
I think
like when he was on Brand on Big Fat Quiz of the Year. Whenever they were on it together, they were funny. Individually, they sucked so much dick.
Yeah, well, together they were the goth detectives, weren't they? On that.
Oh yeah, that was so funny. They protested answering questions, so they hid under their desk. I quite enjoyed that. Well, they were eating, weren't they? And they started throwing sweets to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all pretty funny, but not this not their solo crap. Although I do love that Russell Brand is against the system. He's against the system, but he's just got married.
I know.
He settled down, had a child, complains about capitalism, lives in a mansion. Are you kidding me? He's such a fucking poser.
Yeah.
Give me his money, I'll use it wisely. While I stroll up and down the road in my Lamborghini.
He's another one. He used to be funny.
Yeah, I think he was.
was.
But I think it's just one of those things that doesn't age well.
No, I don't think it does.
Only so long you can be an edgelord before you become a normie. Apparently you all have expiry dates. So I spent the entire day going through about 20 different articles on incidents involving Title 9. Only for Mark.
How did that go? That's a lot of reading.
Only for Mark to link something that referenced the 10 different cases
that
divorce mentioned during DeVos mentioned during her speech 10 different incidents. They were all in those articles, and it took me forever to find them, only to have the cheat sheet given to me later. I feel a bit deflated, you know?
There's some that she didn't even mention, I think, but because there's just a metric fuck ton of title on it.
Yeah. There were a couple I've mentioned in the video, referencing consensual sex between a couple, and the guy still got expelled without being
The
interviewed.
California school. I know, man, that's a different one.
No, this was Georgia. Georgia.
It's
No,
sad
not
that we
Georgia.
have to be like, oh, right,
No,
that
it's
one.
South California, I think. Yeah. Anyway, it's just fucking brilliant. There's so many. I'm not going to mention all of them because it would just, to make a point, I just need to indicate that it is a clear trend of violation. I don't need to go through every single one to overstate the
Due
point.
process? Who needs due process?
Yeah, right. Who needs to? There's a thing. Okay, so there is a segment. Okay, so hang on. I'll pull up my script part. I'll read a little piece for you because it's actually kind of relevant. So there was a representative. His name is where is it? Ah, yeah, Representative Earl Earhart. He is the chairman of the Higher Education Appropriations Subcommittee. Basically, the money goes through him that the colleges get, and he's been pursuing. He's been dealing with due process for students for a while now because he threatened to Georgia Tech for suspending a fraternity based on an allegation of a racial slur. An allegation, for fuck's sake. He tried to get a bill through legislation, failed the first time, got it through the second time, but he had to remove a piece of what he had put through for this. Yeah, it basically the failed one would have required Georgia colleges to report sexual assault allegations to police, which, let's face it, they should be doing anyway. Now, the piece he had to remove was, and I'm going to quote, however, no disciplinary proceedings based upon an alleged sexual assault shall be conducted by a post-secondary institution without the participation of the victim of such alleged sexual assault. Which is in its simplest form means colleges can still punish accused students if their accusers refuse to participate in the proceeding. That's nice. It's nice to know that the accuser can simply duck out and fuck someone after, potentially lying about being raped. It's a shame you had to remove that because I think that was a relevant piece that should have stayed in. Hopefully he'll be able to get that in the future. Because a lot of there are lots of new law firms forming to deal with this.
Yes, there are.
This newfound
surely
crisis.
if you had any common sense, that should be in there.
Yeah, but of course, pandering. You've got to pick your battles, unfortunately, and that's where it sucks. Because that is a decent piece. I think with all these new, as I mentioned, law firms appearing, if anything, it shows that the system, because the guidelines are so weak on what someone can be prosecuted or charged with as rape, when it should be pretty solid, rather than weakening it so that you can get easier prosecutions. It should be properly done and as inside what has been labeled a star chamber, behind closed doors, without the victim or the accused present. Just everyone else is judge, jury, and executioner. It's quite sad, really.
It sounds like we're going back in time.
They pretty much are.
It just.
Do you know, like the old assizes courts we had in this country, where, irregardless, you were put in front of the judge and they basically went, "Yep, to your death," and you didn't really get any say in the matter.
No, you're right.
It just reminds me of that scene from Blackadder where he shoots a pigeon, and it's a Blackadder goes forth when in the World War II.
Yeah.
where Stephen Fry puts on the black cloth on his head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. Oh, that's really loud.
Yes. Basically, colleges want to be able to say this at all times. That's what they think they are. A Judge Dredd. But because they're really shit, they're the Sly Stallone era Dredd. And not the new urban Dredd. The proper Dredd.
Cartoony Dread.
Yes. I look forward to the experience. Yes. Actually, I'm so tempted to just play a little clip in this, what I'm working on, Title 9 video. But it's going to be kind of more relaxed. So I might, if I do, it will just be a couple memes with Dreads. You know, either go with Sly Stallone shouting, "I am the law." It's very calm, speaking into a microphone. "I am the law." Just very calm, and it's perfect. Maybe get Mr. Mackey to say "okay" a few times. Yes.
So, the thing is, I mean, this type of stuff wouldn't happen any other place. You know, you would get this in an employer. You know, you wouldn't go to work at McDonald's and have something instant like this, which they decided to handle internally. But why it happens in colleges?
Fuck.
I don't really. The good thing here is that okay, so there's a thing called the Dear Colleague letter.
That thing
During
kind of
the
fucked
Obama
everything up.
Basically, Obama administration. I've read it. It's quite short. It's basically listed as a form of, as a specific name for it. Scroll up. I'm going through my scripts. Just give me a second. Significant guidance document. That's what's declared. As it's being rescinded, it should be ignored, because this is a massive. What's happened is the Obama administration has tried to overstate its power, overreach really, and apply, because of Obama's background in civil rights. This seems to be something he's just trying to get more involved in, and by doing so, he's caused his administration, him, I guess, has done some damage with this Dear Colleague letter, which it's pretty bad. You shouldn't be mixing Title 9 and the criminal charges. Essentially, the criminal thing should be going to the police. There's no ifs and buts.
Yeah, that's the general.
About,
No, that's why it baffles me constantly why this is happening. It's a criminal matter.
Exactly. I do think that. Okay, so Title 9. Okay, this is the definition of it. No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. You shouldn't now be adding sexual assault to this, because no education program should be having anything to do with it. It should immediately be passing it to the police. This is why the Obama administration and this Dear Colleague letter is a bad thing to now try and merge with Title 9. Or was and is and now needs to be destroyed. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, good for you.
I stopped and I thought, fuck, my internet must have died. Bollocks.
I don't get how it can be going ahead. It really, really baffles me.
Well, this is why it's a good thing that what DeVos said in her statement essentially was that the system was broken on both sides for the victims, for the rape victims and the accused. It was broken. It didn't help anyone. And the dear colleague letter must be rescinded. It now needs to be changed, and that's what's going to happen, which is actually a good thing. There've been protesters. I've got a short video. I'm not going to play it because I know I'll probably get a copyright strike from CBS or some shit. But there are people chanting some bollocks about where is it? I could probably play the sound of it. Where is it? Come on. There's a bit where she talks about it, and the protesters just talk about how DeVos must go, how she must resign, step down, because what she's trying to do is fix the system. And even though people do argue she's not really qualified, doesn't really matter now. I guess your president's not really qualified, like it matters. But
At least there's someone trying to do something, though.
It's that point, though, where, like when Obama during the riots said both sides were at fault, she's pointing out both sides are being mistreated. And that's not how these people protesting want to see it. They want only one side to be seen as being mistreated, and that would be the victims of rape. The accused must be persecuted and then summarily executed. And I think that's where this there's no okay, so there's no real middle ground with the people who think like this. And so it's very hard to have a civil discussion. It is like negotiating with terrorists, and America doesn't do that.
No, because you get people that are so convinced that what they believe is right. It doesn't matter what you say to them. There is no way you are going to get them to even do any kind of research or look into, the other side.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. America will save the day. It'll fix itself. Trump will make America great again. We'll build the wall. It's all good. When Trump's elected, I had this. We need another Team America film, and we need people to start actually singing "Fuck Yeah," the America "Fuck Yeah" song as the national anthem. Come on, a load of Americans think our national anthem is the theme song to Harry Potter. By the way, I had with, and yeah, they did think it was our national anthem.
Really?
To be fair, they're incredibly dense.
I quite like the idea personally.
Yeah, it's better than that funeral march that goes on for how many verses again? Is it 10 verses?
Yeah, and no one knows.
Yeah, I don't even know. I know I know the first 3, and then I'm like, at this point, I'm no longer cutting my wrists across. I'm going straight down.
Mind you, they don't use the national anthem now. Don't they use Jerusalem instead? A lot of the time. Like our national anthem.
God Save the Queen?
Yeah, I think they've started using Jerusalem now as well.
It's certainly do it.
Honestly, yeah, I think probably rugby. I don't watch that shit. But I do think I can just about stomach one Queen. I have no objection to the Queen, none at all. Well, I have a few, but I just that anthem is so slow. On a slightly lighter note, right? Have you? I think probably Mr. Bite. You'll probably remember the old campaign ads that parties put out in the UK.
So I'm missing it. You're roboting a little bit.
Fuck.
We'll just repeat it again.
All we got was
do you remember
something about campaign ads.
Do you remember the campaign ads from back in the day? Like, anytime Round John made...
Very vaguely.
There are a couple that I've been going through some stuff just to add to a Remain video I was working on for Brexit. I did the Brexit one, I've done the Remain one, and there's a piece in it I talk about Tony Blair. I was reminded of a 1997 campaign ad he took out, and it is the single cringiest, and I hate the word cringe now.
Just hate.
Right. The music's that Things Can Only Get Better song.
Oh God, that
It's
one.
2.5
Yes,
minutes long.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy's ballot falls out of his hand, and he runs in front of a car, and an old man bibs and shakes his fist, and then it pans to an image of the guy's shirt. It's just a blue shirt. And next thing you pan back to the guy, thumbs up and smiling. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Who the fuck edited this?
Yeah.
What are you?
What am I watching?
They're not.
I'm watching
they're
it
not
over a
much
pillow, and I'm like,
better.
I have to cut this. I have to edit this shit. Oh, that's so bad.
Not
There was,
seen-
however...
I think it was from this election. I think it was the Liberal Democrats, the one that was like a constant loop with a couple.
Oh, no.
That was really bad as well.
You know what I'm waiting for? I want to wait for the next general election, right? And I just want a campaign ad to come up and for it to just be Shadowley.
That'd be great.
That would be amazing. I'd love that. I would actually vote for any party that did that on the grounds that they are no longer normies.
Saigon for PM.
Yes. Oh, it's brilliant. There's a part in this BBC Things Not to Say to Remain voter video, and I wasn't really planning it, and I came across they were talking about Brexit means Brexit, so I went through PMQs because I watch it anyway, and I know it's said a lot. I found 5 clips of people saying Brexit means Brexit, put it all together, and then the guy in the BBC Three video then says breakfast means breakfast. And I was like, oh my god! Then I insert the little clip of a guy saying breakfast. Yes. See, that was there for my amusement. Okay. It's like the lowest quality image I could find. It was actually the highest quality I could find. This guy saying breakfast, but
What?
Still there?
fuck. My internet does not like me.
That's an understatement.
Just pretend I'm hearing interesting, and you carry on talking. Carry
Let's
the
hijack
stream
the-
while I go
Let's hijack the channel.
fix this.
Yeah, did you see the other thing in the news today about those parents that have taken their kid out of primary school?
Why?
Because their son's 6, I think, and there's a boy who dresses as a girl sometimes as a boy.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's a C of E school, and they're saying it's too confusing for their children, and I kind of get where they're coming from.
I just don't care. If kids want to wear that, the kids can wear. I don't care as long as the school, doesn't break any of their rules. I don't care.
And as long as the parents aren't forcing it.
Yeah, it's not like that. I saw Bering's video, but I'd seen the article before he did the video, and I felt stupid for not getting to it first. With that 12-year-old who went on HRT because the mother was giving the kid freaking estrogen, and then 2 years later was like, I'm a boy, not a girl. And that's pretty fucked up. Because the kids, the teenage boys now got tits.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
See,
at this point, it's so small.
that parent should be in jail because that's child abuse.
At this point, those tits shouldn't even be called tits. They're just bitch tits. When you get pissed off with the boy, how do you punish the boy? You slap those bitch tits.
Because we were talking about this earlier, it's like everyone wants to be something stupid when they're a kid. You know what
I
mean?
wanted to be a carpenter.
What, you want it to be Jesus?
Really stupid, I know. No, I'm kidding. Woodwork runs in my family, so I wanted to be a carpenter.
Yeah, you see, I was saying earlier, I wanted to be Jareth, the Goblin King, when I was little, which is never going to happen.
It could still happen. Get the plastic surgery, you'll be fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, by today's standards, it would be, oh, well, you must want to transition. Like,
Yeah.
no, he was just cool.
Just, I think I wanted to be an airplane at one point.
I remember the very first time when we went on an airplane. It was at the Duxford Air Show when I was 15, and I got to go on a Concorde for 5p. I tell people about this, and they were like, "Oh my god, that's so cheap! How do I get on it?" And I'm like, "You go to an air show." Oh, it's so boring. I'm not going. It was actually amazing.
Neener.
Yeah. Neener. Yes. I rather enjoy air shows, so I don't give a fuck what people think.
You don't give a shit. You don't give a fuck.
Pretty much.
I can't say I've ever been to one, actually.
I used to live in Lowestoft in my late teens, and every year they had one on the beach. You didn't have to pay. You just if you wanted to bung a couple quid in the donation buckets to help keep it going. 'Cause it used to be funded, now isn't. Every year though, it was brilliant. Saw some awesome stuff, had good fun, ate lots of junk food. Good times. Now as an adult,
Yeah, I got dragged to lots of like horse shows and stuff when I was a kid, or like the Royal Tournament
when I was a kid,
and things like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I used to go to steam engine fairs, like the really old steam engines. I loved those. That was so much fun. I mean, I know it's old, but yeah.
Do you ever get taken to those kind of medieval things where you had to dress up into medieval
Renaissance
clothing?
fairs?
Oh, roll LARP.
Yeah,
LARP.
well, it wasn't quite LARP. It was you're a bit too young for LARP, but it's kind of diet LARP.
It probably was a Renaissance thing then, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
are you-
the red fairs are big over here.
yeah. Are you talking about that place? It was called Little Coat. It was like
Yeah.
It's turned into a hotel now, but it used to be like this fully functioning medieval village, and they used to put on like jousting shows and stuff.
Might have been that. It was a long, long time ago. I have a picture of me somewhere in a kind of, I don't know, what's it called? There's guys who used to walk around with guitars, and I can't remember what they're called now. Jesus.
Parts.
Sorry, minstrels? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Oh yeah, the ones that play the really
The
small,
lute.
those weird looking guitars, yeah.
Is it the lute? Is that the right one?
Lute, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a lute, but I've got the hat with the feather in it and all that.
You have a proper faggot costume. Congratulations.
He's got one picture of me. Yes,
Uh,
it's a product of when internet was still emerging and that you had to find stuff to do still.
Yeah, you had to go out into the real world.
Yeah, you had to go to like fairs and things and look at.
Can
you imagine, right? You're dressed in your costume and you're at home at a party, and then you get sent to the shops to get milk, and you go dressed as a fucking minstrel playing a lute. Just walk in and start singing about needing milk in a Tesco.
I know this is a bit off the subject. It's something I thought about missing the other day. Do you remember, getting your photos from from Boots or wherever you get your photos developed?
That USB thing you can print, or the old way?
No,
Old way. Oh, from film.
With
when you had to
35mm film.
you dropped it in and came back a few days later, and then it had that excitement about opening up the photos to see how it turned out, and you have the inevitable pictures on a few of them. There's sort of sticker on a few of them which said, so I don't know, out of focus or something. But I kind of missed that.
Yeah. I do as well, because I've still got some old camera rolls that I've never used. Wouldn't mind giving them a little go sometime. I mean, I remember when we first got a Polaroid, and I was probably in my early teens, and I took some pictures. And no, my sisters, there's something wrong with them. Just because I understand the idea that as I get older, it's nice to have them. and they show me as a child. My sisters don't like pictures though, and so there aren't many of them because they refuse to get involved, which is a shame because it's history.
Yeah,
They're a bit sad like that.
Yeah, there's a huge gap, I think, of photos of me when I was a teenager, like my early teens, because I hated having my picture taken. I just used to hide from the camera.
You see, my mom was
Yeah, my
obsessed
sister-
with the camera, and it was just no hiding.
We had to blackmail my youngest sister with food to get her to take pictures. Eventually, she would take the picture, but there are so few of them that we have to make us. I've sort of tried to convince her that as her son gets older, he's going to want pictures, and try and explain it to her that he'll need them. She doesn't quite get it. Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's still going to be a whole generation of kids who are going to be literally documented for every second of their early life on Facebook.
They'll be able to turn it into one of those flip books. This is me over 365 days. Look, the cuts are getting deeper on my face.
Well, considering that the amount of pictures someone puts on Facebook is probably a percentage of what they put up there, and there's a huge amount of photos people put up. So the actual amount of photos they actually have that they don't post must be this vast, literally second by second account of their lives. God, could you imagine? I'm glad I got some photos of my past have disappeared into the ether. We'll never be see again. Yeah, forget about them.
I back them up on Google, OneDrive, and I've got an external, so all my pictures are backed up. So I know I've lost some pictures.
Air.
Yeah, but they're not important. I used to be the person that took the pictures. There aren't many of me in the pictures. So I'm kind of there, but I'm there in spirit.
My mum moans at me because I don't take any photos. And I'm like, well, if I'm doing stuff, I'm too busy doing it to worry about taking photos of it.
Mm.
But then my mum and my sister are the kind of people that take photos of everything.
Yeah. My older sister is like that now. She does that with her newborn. She did it before with her nieces and nephew. She's just obsessed with taking those selfies, but not in the kind of way you see teenage girls do it, or teenage boys as well, of course. And teenage non-binaries, but more like just somebody who's very proud of the kids. Because she's a soppy fuck.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I just want to.
Sorry, go on.
Go on. No, I'm changing the subject. You may as well finish your bit.
No, I was just going to say it's part of the reason why I stopped going on Facebook, because I was fed up of seeing millions of pictures of other people's children that I just don't care about.
Oh, I get cancer from looking at people doing political posts on Facebook, so a daily dose of cancer.
Yeah. I'm just grateful people mostly send me shit posty stuff, like that thing with Thomas the Tank Engine being taken over by the powers of chaos. On a slight change of subject, right? So earlier I went to do some work, right? And I went upstairs to use the bathroom. And
did you really go?
I did go, but I had to sneak past a little fuck who refused to get out of my way. See, the building, because it's outside, you have to go outside to go upstairs, and they've created this corrugated plastic sheeting thing. And so, give me a second. Okay, so on the banister there, this is upstairs outside. That pigeon couldn't figure out how to get past that plastic there on this side. And it kind of just kept getting in my fucking way. It kept flying in front of my fucking face. So I've only got the 3 pictures. But that little fucker couldn't get out of my way. And 3 times, I was stuck there for 15 minutes.
That's because pigeons are stupid.
Yeah, it kept flying up to the top piece of wood there, here. And I was using a broomstick to try and encourage him to go down here because it goes under and he can come out. In the end, I killed him. By accident. But I could have finished work in the time I was waiting there. As I hit him with the broomstick as he was over there, he snapped his neck on the banister.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Likely story.
So to the people who are going to be there at 12 tonight to start work, I like my pigeon pie tender. And it was an accident, so please don't send me to pigeon prison. And Laura in the chat says, wait, what did you kill? It was an accident, okay? 15 minutes. I tried to encourage him to leave me the fuck alone. And all he kept doing, you know what he did? Kept on flapping in my face.
Seems aggressive.
Who wants flapping in their face? I know, right? That is a hate crime. Oh, fuck you, Laura. I'm going to put you on timeout now. I'll do it later. Fuck it. Yeah, that was my day. Yeah. Productive, I know.
Your day consisted of Title IX and murdering a pigeon.
Accidentally. With a broomstick.
That's what they all
in the drawing
say.
room. Hey, I could have easily gone in and got the fucking... I know that in that house, not the house, the office somewhere, they have a BB gun, but it's quite powerful. And they used to use it to deal with the pigeons until they kept killing the pigeons. So if I went and found it, I would have killed the pigeon. If I'd done it with the gun, the pigeon would have died from the fall, not the shot. Whereas this one died before it hit the ground.
And that makes it kinder, does it?
Yeah. Who likes falling?
You're just trying to justify it now, and it's not working.
Yeah, and you're failing.
I'm not trying to justify shit. I had work to do, and I was hungry. It was either the pigeon or me, and I gave the pigeon ample opportunity. Terrorists, and I gave that pigeon a chance.
And then you killed it. You're not helping your case, Sonny.
I'm not trying to help my case at all. I'm trying to show how amazing I am. Kentucky Fried Pigeon. There are a lot of rat birds or whatever they're called around here. There are lots of them. And seagulls. Seagulls, they die far too easily. They you usually know when they're dead because they're stuck in the grill of one of the dust carts. It's rather amusing watching their bodies get slowly incinerated by the radiator.
We get crows, and that's about it. I think they've scared everything else off.
Oh, I once saw a crow. I was riding home from work once, and I saw a crow attacking a dove. Now, the dove wasn't doing anything. The dove was eating something, and the crow just went in and just started absolutely hammering this dove. So I went over, and this is about 5 years ago, and I gave the crow, again, ample opportunity to back off. He did not listen. Booted him into the school playground.
You're just an aggressive little shit, aren't you?
Hey, it was either the dove or him. And doves are nicer.
So you're like a bird serial killer or something.
I'm okay with it. I'm honestly okay with it. I'd rather be out at night anyway, because we got bats around here and they're so cool. Bats are cool.
They are, definitely.
Birds are not.
Yeah. We get foxes occasionally, but that's about it.
We do get foxes around here as well, but luckily, they stay mostly in the wooded area near where the nuns live around here. It's easier for them to survive because the neighbors here aren't good to, they're just intolerant of gingers, human or other, including foxes.
And the nuns are more accepting.
Yeah, the nuns, yes. They see the ginger and they're like, oh, the poor soulless. God's forgotten children. God's mistakes.
Seems legit.
Caps. Dear, dear. Right, yes. What else has been going on?
It's a pretty boring week.
It's not been too bad. I mean, there has been a lot of internet drama. I know somebody did tweet me that PewDiePie thing.
Yeah, I've just
I
been
was
ignoring that.
I was considering doing something on it, just a little meme. What I thought was, I heard about it and I thought, I know. Why don't I get all the white people I know to just say nigger for me so I can make that remix? 100% nigger song. I put it in Discord because I was talking to Mark about it earlier. I thought it was hilarious. But I'm thinking about it more and I'm like, this is the stupidest, gayest idea I've ever had. Pretty gay.
Guaranteed to upset so many people.
I'm okay with
I
this.
think I must have missed this. What actually happened?
PewDiePie said nigger during a stream.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
But
Right.
that's pretty much
That's
the generic reaction.
Exactly. It really. I was talking about that black guy who did the whole really funny Twitter video, being all upset about it, and then he's like, "No, I'm going to bed." It's just no one gives a fuck. It's not because it's PewDiePie; it's because it's just a fucking word.
I'm sure some people get offended because they think they should be offended and they aren't actually.
It's right. It's righteous indignation. Is that right? Righteous indignation about something that you're by proxy. I guess. Really, isn't it?
Carlos has just uncovered something very dark. Nigger
Mm,
is an anagram of ginger.
yeah. Tim Minchin did a song called
Yeah.
Prejudice several years ago about that whole thing.
It's hilarious.
If you go and watch Tim Minchin's song Prejudice, that's what that whole song is about.
Amazing. He's pretty funny. I like his songs.
Yeah, I went to see him live a few years ago before he got like super famous.
I love it. Carlos in the chat confirms his anagram thing is a Tim Minchin thing.
He's got good taste. then.
Nice. That is actually amazing. And he's a very honest guy. Nice one, Carlos. You can keep your wrench for now. Oh dear, oh dear. I think there's a darker plot at play here. Those pesky gingers are hiding under the nigger word. I don't know what to do now. Yeah. Like anyone gives a fuck. It's just a word.
Oh,
Dear, dear.
have you seen Guardians 2?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I just wanted to get some other people's opinion of it because we watched it the other night.
I have not watched it.
Okay, so it's basically them stranded on an island, or well, not stranded, but they're on an island with his dad. It's okay. Shows more power in the universe, kind of stuff.
Okay, it's just
But
me that
obviously
really
the first-
hated it then.
No, it's not that. I don't like. It's like the third Star Trek film, stuck on a planet. That to me is boring. I want them in a ship exploring, like Guardians of the Galaxy. I want them to be in space doing shit. And there were some interesting bits in that film, but
some of the
wasn't all that.
writing was awful.
I like
You don't like Drax, do you? You hate Drax.
Oh no, because Batista shouldn't act.
Batista isn't acting. That's his normal speech pattern.
Yeah, exactly. He shouldn't be in films.
I really like the new whatever that thing was that attaches to the blue guy's head, that massive mohawk he had instead. I love it with that arrow he uses. It's just brilliant.
The fin, didn't he? But
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
loved
was
it.
disappointed. I was disappointed by the fact that was it Star Lord or whatever his name is? for a second he has all that
Peter
power.
Quill.
Literally for a second he has all that power. So, yeah, and then suddenly it's gone. So finally you know who you are, and you just realise you had all this power the whole time, and oh, it's gone.
Yeah. His dad's name's Ego.
I know.
Yeah. It's just
But
His
yeah,
mother's name, Modesty.
it's like, but they also went there with like the cringiest line ever. Do you know what I mean? Like that whole, any man can be a father. It takes a real man to be a dad. Oh, really? Fuck off. That's terrible.
Yeah, I can't.
it's sweet
I can't.
sentiment, but it's a bit cliched.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. Let's not talk about it. It's terrible. I'm not big on quite a few Marvel films, to be honest. So that I'm quite happy for that to be a bit of a miss. They'll probably make up for it with of Infinity Wars.
It felt like it was kind of a bit of a setup for that.
What? To be fair, that's what Civil War is thought of, even though it wasn't meant to be, but it was. I know the fans wanted Civil War, but I would have been happy with not having Civil War yet. Maybe have that in Phase 4.
I'd have just taken the big like fight at the end of Civil War, and I could have not bothered with the rest
Yeah,
of
it
it.
was all right. Yeah, the main fight. You knew Captain America. Captain America beats Iron Man every day. Sorry, Iron Man. You've got all that tech, but he's Captain America. He has a shield. He's like
Your
Toad's
argument is
wizard.
null and void.
I don't care. Oh dear. Is there anything else that's been happening? Let's think. I know
Well,
Parliament's back in session.
I've been getting triggered by
There's a second
Saturday.
reading of the Repeal Act, which I listened to an hour and a half of this parliamentary discussion where David
Triple.
Davis went through the Repeal Act, and it was so boring as well. The annoying thing is, I got the impression and he did, although he did clarify, there was the impression in some of it that Labour weren't so much interested in the UK dealing with their own laws. It was like a convenience-related position they had. The EU's already created these laws, so why bother making new ones? Or why give us the government the power to be able to make them? And I'm thinking, because we're leaving the EU. Oh, and then there's a few remarks about Jacob. A few shots taken at Jacob Rees-Mogg about how old he is, even though he's not old. He's from the 18th century or something, and because of his Catholic remarks on TV. I think the
that
speaker
guy,
said something.
yes.
Yeah.
That was
And then the speaker said something about 18th century being too forward for him. I thought it was pretty funny, and he took it well. So you can't knock. To be fair, how was anyone surprised? This is what bugs me. People are really bothered by his remarks, but most of those devoted to their faith are like that.
Yeah.
And this is you can think of many religions that are intolerant of homosexuality, and yeah, it's quite common with more conservative values and beliefs. So it's not really rocket science here.
But apparently it is.
Yeah.
He was on. I saw an interview with him, and he like made a clear, proved the point that he understood there is a distinction between what he believes and what the law is, and that he's never going to be able to change it. People have just like
about his
latched onto like, oh well, he said this and he said that.
Most religions have it stated in their texts that they must obey the law of the land. It is law that the gays can in fact marry, and it is supported by the majority of the people of this country.
Yeah.
That may over time, however, change though with certain people of faiths that are not tolerant towards the gays. Considering interestingly, there's a thing in Australia right now where they're voting on whether or not the gays can get married. and it's actually a lot closer than you might think.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's quite a mess, really. It's not a surprise, though, at the same time. You can push the progressive idea as much as you like, but reality eventually comes and bites you on the ass. Anyway. How long have we been going for? Okay.
A while.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? Just over an hour, in fact, which is brilliant. Because I have to be up in 5 hours to go to work, so I'm going to end this. For an hour.
Rawr.
Yeah. Oh, am I? Oh, I know why. I said the same thing twice because being the bell and I have the YouTube link open and I had the volume on. Yes. Congratulations, me.